I've recorded this already once, but the audio was pretty bad, so I'm going to re-record it. But basically, what I'm trying to do here is, I saw a bunch of videos, which honestly gave me a chuckle, where people mentioned that this new Modulo Yuji would be able to easily 1v2 both Sukuna and Gojo together, which is just ridiculous. Okay, you know, I'm gonna be honest, at most, Yuji's like, I don't know, Sukuna level, okay, like at most. But he doesn't go past them. There's no reason for him to go past them. If anything, the fact that he's, you know, supposed to be related or whatever, is like, have the potential to reach the level of Sukuna, should tell you that that's his cap, okay, first of all. Second of all, I think people don't realize how dumb Yuji actually is, and I mean that genuinely. Also, he's not really a prodigy, if you will. But I digress, because you gotta remember, even in Modulo Yuji, there's not even that many scenes that we see him actually do anything. So I'm just gonna go through each single one and break it down, because I don't know how people overhype all of them. And then the main one, the main feat that we have no clue of that they use for these scenarios, if you will, hopefully you'll be able to actually think and not just be pushing an agenda, you know, as most of the JJK fandom does. But I digress. So first of all, his first feat was his piercing blood through the building, right? Big whoop. Okay, so he finally has control over what's it called, the compression, the convergence, right? But then you have to realize that this is capped by just simply the properties of blood, where the way you make convergence is you compress blood to its nth degree, right? But that's blood itself. So you can't compress it any further, which is to say this is why you're actually able to dodge it, right? And it's not that scary. Even the guy in the actual panel, like bottom left, he was able to dodge it. Oh, by the way, you probably saw it, but I'm trying to put the panels up really quickly and then put him down because I don't want to copyright strike or whatever. But you can pause it, right? You're on YouTube. And so he shoots it, okay. And he finally learned convergence, which took him a while. Okay, again, showing that he's just not that good. He's just not a genius, right? Most of the stuff he did learn was based off of Sukuna being in his body. But we'll get to that at the end. Considering that the speed of the piercing blood is capped, people like Kenjaku have even slipped it point blank. And like he said himself, it's not that scary once you just, you know, realize what it is. And when you dodge it once, that's it. But hey, it's nice, right? Okay, he has blood manipulation in the bag. You know, he understands how to use it. But I mean, Choso was really the pinnacle of what that technique was. And guys like Sukuna and Gojo, they just blitz them, right? Okay, so special grade or anything that's worth fighting, it's really not going to do anything. So there's that to consider. Now, obviously, the second real feat was the Black Flash. I don't know what to say. Again, we don't know for certain that he does it at will. Now, a lot of people want to say, how can you say that he probably doesn't, considering the fact that he's always been able to use, well, I say again, use Black Flash, right? You have to consider the fact that every time he uses it, the narrator or someone else always has to explain, no one can actually do it at will, right? Even when he does it and it looks like he's doing it at will, when he hits it, he's not doing it at will. So I don't know what to tell you. So even right now, if he said it looks like he did it on purpose, he didn't actually do it on purpose, because no one, I repeat, no one can actually figure it out, you know? So for them to talk about Black Flash in that way, for the entirety of JJK, okay, even down to when he was hitting like 8 Black Flashes in a row, or even Gojo's like, okay, there's 3 aspects to the curse energy in a strike, and he's the only person, obviously probably because of 6 eyes, right, who can control that 3rd aspect, and yet he couldn't figure it out? Okay, like, come on. He's supposed to be a genius. No, he is a genius, right? And he couldn't just train a bit more to actually figure out how to hit it every single time. So especially considering the fact he has the 6 eyes. Makes no sense to me. If anything, that just proves more how even with control of every single aspect of curse energy, even parts that no one else can, he still can't do Black Flash at will. So for Yuji to not, oh yeah, but now he got it. But hey, if you want to say he does, go for it. You know, that I don't think that really changes much, but again, it wouldn't make sense, you know. Now you might say it should make sense because he's been hitting them this whole time, every time. Oh yeah, okay. No. He hits them when he needs to, when the plot says, oh, make him hit a Black Flash, right? Make him look like he's locked in, he's gonna hit a Black Flash. But also specify that he can't actually do it on purpose. It just happens that, you know, he's just lucky, if you will. But that's just Black Flash. Give it to him, don't give it to him, doesn't really matter. But that next panel, where people don't seem to realize that the one like giant slash is cutting through the cursed spirit, and then the second panel shows them blowing up into that smoke, for that third panel to show the giant two little thingies, and how anyone, and a bunch of these, I say a bunch, it's like 2-3 YouTubers, I'm not watching that many YouTubers, but still enough people, and obviously the comments is what gets me. It's where they're on some like, this is destruction greater than Shibuya, greater than the fight, and like, what are you talking about? Genuinely, what are you talking about? One of these guys said, even if it wasn't like an explosion, it's just the smoke of them destroying, I don't care, you know, pushing the agenda. And I'm like, it's not up to debate. It's like, you saw the panels. Like, it's to the point that JJK fans can't only not read, they're blind. Okay, they genuinely can't even see what's in front of them. And so, I mean, I don't know. I guess blame whoever's the artist, right? Because it's not Gege. But blame them for making it, I can't even say blaming them for making it look a little confusing, because it's not if you actually read it. But that giant, like, 2 puffs of smoke are just the curse spirits getting cooked. It's just one big slash. If you think Sukuna can't just adjust his own curse technique to make a slash on that size, when it's literally the same curse technique as Sukuna's, who had more curse energy than Yuji, which is another thing, right? Like, you can't grow the amount of curse energy you have. You have what you have, and Yuji doesn't have a lot, okay? Yes, he's efficient now, as we saw, but even after a fight against like Gojo, Sukuna's half, right? Half of his curse energy. Yuji doesn't even have that, and half of that curse energy was the same amount as Yuta, which when they look at him, it's like it's infinite, okay? So Yuji's not even close to the amount of curse energy. What I'm trying to say, which is, if Sukuna wanted to, why wouldn't he be able to? More curse energy, better control of over his own technique, and curse energy in general. So again, it's really only maximum scaling to Sukuna. And then the next panel, the real last feat he has in the manga is when he chops up Mahito, right? It was light work, casual, hands in pocket. I don't really see many people hyping this one up as much, except for like, you know, he did it casually and we move on. Because you have to realize Mahito really is that weak. Especially when you're supposed to compare them with guys like Sukuna or Gojo. Especially because Sukuna, because of his cursing. I mean, you do realize, like, if you remember, yeah, I know this is like chapter, I don't know, probably volume 1, volume 2, no, volume 2, volume 3 of JJK. Sukuna, at 3 fingers, was able to absolutely nonchalantly take out Mahito, right? He didn't actually kill him, but I don't think he was trying to. Again, because he just waved his 2 fingers, cooked them. Domain got destroyed. And even his curse technique, Mahito's curse technique, didn't work on Sukuna, even at 3 fingers. You know, Mahito's like, yo, this guy has probably less curse energy than Jogo at the moment. And yet his soul is practically untouchable. 3 fingers, and he already cooked them. Okay, so now we have a fighter who should be equal to like 20 finger full form Sukuna, allegedly, you know. Again, and that's the thing you have to reconsider. It's like, even if we think that Yuji is at 100% of Sukuna, you know, if you were to try 100%, is he actually? And what I mean by that is, consider the fact that 1, he's the son of the reincarnation of Sukuna's twin, first of all. Second of all, it's the fact that all of these feats are very casual feats for even Sukuna, right? So we don't know how high that ceiling goes, both for Sukuna and for Yuji. So yeah, if 3-finger Sukuna can slap away Mahito, why wouldn't Yuji, you know, top of what he can do is probably Sukuna level? This shouldn't come as a surprise. Okay. Now, we have the last panel. One of the last panels where Yuji's like, I want to turn into a cursed object for future generations in case they need it. And this is where it comes down to whether he's actually a genius or not and figuring these things out. Because guess what? Again, you might be able to debate whether Yuji was conscious when Sukuna didn't chain. It doesn't really, the binding vow wasn't really that he would lose consciousness. It's just that they would switch out for like a certain amount of time, this and that, and then can't hurt anyone except for him, right? If we give him the fact that he's actually conscious during that swap, but when that swap happens, he should have been able to see when Sukuna turned himself into a finger, right? Or one of his fingers, and then gave it to Mega. Why I mentioned this is because Sukuna saw it once when Kenjaku turned him into a cursed object. And from that, he learned how to do it. The same way he saw Gojo refresh his curse technique and figured out how to do it. Yuji just doesn't have that level of natural ability in just learning. It's like that genius mindset. Like what's his name? Higuruma. Oh boy. Spoiler alerts, although this whole thing is just modulo, so it should be all spoilers, but that man is a real genius. He saw domain amplification from afar once. He's like, I think I understand it now. But not only did he figure out domain amplification, but he was able to pause and restart his technique while using domain amplification. That's something that even Sukuna's like, whoa, this guy's a real sorcerer, right? It's like, what's your name, basically? And so, not only that, also reverse curse technique, which he learned in the same little few months when Yuji was training with everyone. Not only did Yuji have the benefit of being able to, or have a body that was used to it being used in his, within himself because of Sukuna, but he also had a curse technique now, which is, curse blood manipulation, so he can turn curse energy into blood blood, which would make it easier, and he still couldn't figure out how to completely do it 100%, right? He was doing it too fast, and he just still didn't have the hang of it, and he probably wouldn't be able to regrow a limb. As opposed to Higuruma, who not only figured it out in the same amount of time, but he was able to regrow entire limbs, which is a feat and a half. Yuji's just not that smart, okay? He's not that level of, what's the word? Talented. Okay, like even what's his name? Kusakabe tells him, it's like, do you know why you figured out this and that? He's like, oh, because I'm talented. He's like, no, you're not. It's because of Sukuna, right? And even he has to recognize that later. He's like, yeah, it wasn't me. It was because Sukuna did this and that. And so even they even think like, yo, we should ask Megumi. Even Megumi's better to throw ideas around to figure out how to turn himself into a cursed object. And so when you realize that, the real argument that comes up when they say that Yuji would beat them, Sukuna and Gojo, is that his domain would be more refined. And this is what I have the biggest problem. Okay, everything else is like, you should just be able to see the feats on the screen, you know, as you're reading or whatever, and realize that, okay, these don't really stack them up. Like, if someone showed me just these feats alone, like, and a different character, I'm not thinking they can beat Sukuna or Gojo. Simple as that. But now they say 70 years, or something like that, I forget, where he's been training, right? Again, allegedly. Because if he's been depressed these last few years, I don't think he's been training. I think he's been moping around saying, oh, everything doesn't matter, being, you know, emo, whatever. So, but we'll say it was the full, whatever, 70 years, whatever. Kenjaku, who's actually, now he's a genius, right? He's smart. Not only did he make all these binding vows with everyone, the plan to seal Gojo, this and that, he's fought the Six Eyes users in the past before. He even lived throughout the golden age of Jujutsu. 1,000 years, and the most he got was an open domain. Here's what you have to understand. What do you mean by refine? It just can't keep going. It's just infinitely refined. Every day just refine 1%, 1%. There's a max. There's a cap to it. Just like with certain curse techniques like blood manipulation. It depends on blood. Say, even Gojo's domain, it cannot be an open domain. You know, it's capped. Why would you think that just giving him more years, when he's not even that talented, would just make it so that his domain is so, it just keeps refining infinitely. Like that's what people argue. It's like it would just infinitely keep refining until it's uber duper refined, opens up domain, instantly wins. That makes zero sense. And what I was getting at was Kenjaku's 1,000 years of experience, and even tells when he's fighting, he was supposed to be like the second best barrier user. No, he's the #1 barrier user, right? Because when he fought, or when he was with the thumb, what's her name? The granny, Tengen, right? He won just because his ideas, his knowledge is just that much more vast. I mean, it is a divine technique, painting on air, growing flowers without a vase, throwing the water without the bottle. Which is to say, the most he gets is an open domain, and he's still scared to face Sukuna or Gojo because he's like, yo, like if he just opens up his domain, no, his domain will get cooked. Now here's the question: do you think he's just scared because they would just blitz him and just kill him, or do you think that his domain would overpower theirs? I think no one thinks that his domain would overpower theirs. He even tells Tsukumo, right? If you were to have opened up your domain, you probably would have done better. Which is to say, he probably doesn't think that his domain would have just absolutely annihilated hers. Okay, so 1,000 years of experience of a true mastermind working and genuinely specialized in barriers, binding vows, and everything. And his domain didn't just keep getting refined. You think he stopped training? Stopped getting it better and making it better? Like, what? I mean, he was able to separate 3 curse techniques in his brain, okay? And just burn them out individually instead of like what happened with Yuta. So you're telling me this guy, like, who even made Yuji? Yuji is fabric. It's like Captain America. Everything special about you came out of a bottle, okay? And he doesn't have an ultra refined domain that just keeps going. So, he's just the best because he's had 1,000 years. He's been alive for 1,000 years. If you give Yuji 1,000 years, and he wouldn't even get, like, it wouldn't matter. It caps. Or at least I'm arguing that it caps. And even if it didn't, it's just the fact that he's not that guy. And that was really the biggest one. The biggest argument that I heard that just made no sense. But anyway, that's about it. If you guys want to argue, feel free to argue in the comment section below and bring some evidence. I'll be more than happy to reply to you guys. And if you liked it and you realize that I'm pushing your agenda, the right agenda, the facts-based agenda, then go ahead and like it. Subscribe. And thanks for watching.